Hello everyone, Namaste. I am A. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor of English, Government Degree College for Women, Karimnagar. And welcome to the session. Today's topic is soft skills. What does today what we are going to study under soft skills and communication skills are brainstorming, JOM, GD, role play, oral presentation, and dialogue writing. And as we all know, soft skills and communication skills are part of life skills. Under this, we study all these sub skills. First, we will know what are soft skills. Soft skills are personal attributes that enable someone to interact effectively and harmoniously with the other people. They are part of life skills. They are the abilities of adaptive and positive behavior that enable us to deal effectively with the problems and challenges of everyday life. They are basic tenets required for a meaningful life with a sense of understanding. They are a yardstick of competence. They are a set of human skills acquired through either teaching or direct encounter. The ultimate aim of these skills is helping people up to the level of one's satisfaction and expectations. They are meant for a better quality of life. And soft skills occupy a very significant role in the life of a human being. Though they are to be learned as a part of life, the present changes in the lifestyle of living demands separate training. With the abnormal increase in the number of nuclear families, there is much focus on these skills in the present scenario. Acquisition of soft skills has become essential for every individual nowadays. There is much focus on soft skills in the present job market as the employer wants to have dedicated personnel with a sense of commitment for the growth of his company. The candidates are put to an acid test at every level and in every aspect, so the individual is forced to learn the soft skills regardless of his or her interests or tendencies. This also play a key role in personality development. The first skill we are going to learn is brainstorming. What is brainstorming? It is a group creativity technique by which efforts are made to find a conclusion for a specific problem by gathering a list of ideas spontaneously contributed by its members. It is a creative way of problem solving. The members think freely and suggest as many new ideas as possible to solve the problem. The technique can be used by learners working in a group to generate ideas collaboratively. It helps generate a number of ideas on a topic. In brainstorming, there is no controlled outcome. In other words, there is no right answer. Students can put forth a number of ideas, any number of ideas. The advantage of this activity is that it creates a positive learning atmosphere as the students are under no pressure of right and wrong. And brainstorming boosts the learner's confidence and encourages them to think. It also lowers the students' inhibition and allows them to be dynamic and active. It is beneficial if it is used as a warm up activity before writing a speech or essay. This process gives students a number of points to speak on, which increases their speaking time. And brainstorming has some important techniques again. They are mind mapping, questioning, reverse brainstorming, and SWOT analysis. Let us see what are they. What is mind mapping? Mind mapping is a technique where the learners are given a word and are asked to think of more words that are related to this word in some way. For example, if a word cell phone is given, and think about cell phone, what are the related words to it? Then somebody says mobile phone, somebody says SIM card, somebody says recharge, somebody says talk to relatives, relationships, and somebody says cause cancer, like that. So many words related to one single word in whatever way may be the connection, the relation, but whatever is related to it, we can say those words. That is mind mapping. If I say learn, what can you say? Teacher, student, class, textbook, notes, everything you can say. So, like that, so many words from a single word we can generate. And the next technique of brainstorming is questioning. That is, asking questions related to the topic is another method of brainstorming. So, cell phone, I said. For example, if the topic cell phone, questions how can we ask? Why do we use cell phones or mobile phones? What are the effects of the use of cell phones? So, by asking such questions, what you actually do? Brainstorm. You think about that. And what are the negative functions of the cell phone? Can we ban cell phones? How can we use mobile phones? What are the positive effects of cell phone? Today we are listening to this lesson just because of cell phones. If cell phones are not there, means perhaps with the help of laptops and computers. So both, it has its own uses as well as some negative effects also, positive and negative effects both it has. So we have to think in both ways. Like that, any topic you take, we can brainstorm by mind mapping as well. If a word is given by the teacher or somebody, then we have to think about the word and we get as many as possible words related to it. That is mind mapping. And then when questions are asked, we think about that word and we give answers. That is questioning and answering. And the third technique of reverse brainstorming is, this involves thinking reverse brainstorming, and this involves thinking in a reverse manner. Instead of asking how the problem can be solved, students are required to ask how the problem was caused. The brainstorm for answers to the reverse question and then try to arrive at a solution to the real problem. If we know the reason, the cause for the problem, then we can avoid it. So for that reason, reverse brainstorm is useful. One can ask questions like the following for the reverse brainstorming. Like, does the earth ever stop rotating? Then we think about it. If it stops, what happens? Why is it rotating, first of all? What is the effect of earth's rotation? All these things we think about. How do we make best use of the heat of the sun for mankind? Yes. Then we think about sun, how it is emitting sun rays, and what is the use of them, and how can we use them. Like this, we can think of what would happen if all the water sources on earth get evaporated. Without water, there is no life, we know. When we think about these things, we get to a conclusion. Is there any viable strategy to save our earth? Now everybody knows earth is in danger due to our own activities of too much pollution and not being sensitive to environment. All these things are causing. danger to earth. Now the fourth technique, that is SWOT analysis. SWOT is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. The learner make the use of the brainstorming strategy to identify one's own strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats. I think all of you know acronym. Acronym is the abbreviated form but which becomes a word, which is considered as a word. SWOT is considered as a word. So it is an acronym. Here brainstorming is used to find out SWOT. Uh, this helps in good self-analysis, and a similar technique can be used for writing about the strengths and weaknesses of anything, not only one's own self, of anything. So you can yourself make a SWOT analysis of your own. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities here? And what are your threats? So now we can see an example of a job aspirant's SWOT. Under strengths, the job aspirant wrote, I have a passion for teaching. I have good interpersonal skills. I have a degree in education. I have good critical and analytical skills. I have excellent communication skills. I have plenty of work experience. I'm good with public speaking. I'm financially sound. I'm young and healthy. I have a supportive spouse. All these are the strengths. And weaknesses. Under weaknesses, I have little relevant experience when there is less experience. I'm lazy and soft from procrastination. So, laziness and always postponing nature. So we have to analyze ourselves. And I lack concentration or attention span, lacking concentration. These are all weaknesses. I don't have much subject knowledge, lacking even knowledge. I lack stress management skills, so always feel stress. I'm poor at dealing with conflict. When conflict comes, we must be in a position to deal with it. But when we are poor means it leads to a problem. I'm low in self-esteem, lacking self-confidence, self-esteem, self-regard. So it is also a problem, a negative quality. I have young children to take care of. I have dependent in-laws. I live far from the college. So daily going to college means if it is far, it's somewhat difficult. So these are the weaknesses of the job aspirant. And let us see what are the opportunities. I have a job offer in a college which suits my temperament better. I have the option to go on and study my PhD also. I have been offered a scholarship for my doctoral work. Many new colleges are opening in my locality. My children are offered free education by my college. My college has instituted an annual gold medal for the best teacher. My parents are moving to my neighborhood. Our car loan application has been cleared. All these are the opportunities of the job aspirant. And what are the threats? This place is quite expensive where the job aspirant is living, that place. We have no PhD supervisors in this town. I have a heavy workload. I need to sign a contract if I take up a new job. My family depends on my salary and I cannot take any risk with my career. Entry level admissions into my college have been drastically decreasing. So college may close one day. Who knows? Our jobs may be reduced. I am not on good terms with the college management. Two of my younger colleagues have acquired higher academic qualifications. These are the threats. Now, who prepared this? The job aspirant herself has prepared about her strengths, her weakness, her or his strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats. In the same way, every one of you have to prepare your own strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and finally come to conclusion which job you have to choose and whether to choose a job or whether to continue your studies, everything depending upon your own analysis. It is done through brainstorming. So the next skill we are going to talk about is jam. Not bread and jam. Capital jam means it is an acronym actually for just a minute. Just a minute has become jam. In a global market, candidates are tested in many ways in the recruitment process of companies. They have to undergo a written test, an interview, a group discussion, and a jam. These are the different ways of testing the skills and abilities of candidate. So if you go to any MNC multinational company, what is their process? The candidate has to undergo 4 kinds of tests. What are they? First, a written test, next interview, next group discussion, and next a job activity. So to get a job is compulsory. So these are the different ways of testing the skills and abilities of the candidate. In job, a topic is given and one has to say something on the given topic for a minute. The topic is given immediately, not before. Just when you enter, the topic is given and asked to talk about 1 minute about the topic. And why it is why the candidate is tested through JOM means to test the quickness of the candidate. Some people immediately can react, some people takes time. So sometimes to take decisions, quickness is very much necessary. For that reason, JOMs are given. And in grasping and responding to a problem or question, both the quickness and depth of his knowledge, his or her knowledge is tested. How much deep knowledge one has and how quickly one can react. As the saying goes, a grain of rice is enough to test whether it is boiled properly or not. In Telugu we say, అన్నం ఉడికిందో లేదో తెలియాలంటే ఒక మెతుకు చూస్తే చాలు. In the same way, in JOM, in 1 minute, one can assess one's quickness as well as the depth of knowledge as well as communication skills and soft skills. Everything one can assess. So for getting a job, JOM is very much necessary. So we should practice JOMs now and then. In classroom also, sometimes we practice these things. Immediately, one topic will be given to you and you have to speak then and there itself. It is a new experience. You can practice at home also. Take any topic. JOM. Nowadays, whatever is there. Now, you can talk about coronavirus. And you can talk about recession. You can talk about World War. Anything you can talk about. You can talk about future after corona. Future in 2020. Education in this academic year. Everything you can talk about for 1 minute. Taking a topic and speaking for 1 minute. If you practice like this, it will help you to enrich your speaking skills. And the next one is group discussion. What is group discussion? As the phrase itself suggests, it is a group activity. In a group discussion, a group of 5 or 6 members sit together to discuss a topic assigned to them. A topic will be given and 5 or 6 group members will sit and discuss. Everyone is free to interact with others and express his or her ideas. And it is quite well known that these days multinational companies test the personality traits of every employee before recruiting. Before itself, we have learned what are the tests they conduct: written test, interview, and group discussion and job. So, group discussion is also very much necessary. It is mandatory on the part of every candidate to equip himself or herself with some skills to gain entry into the employment. So, it has become necessary for us. A group discussion can bring to the fore the candidate's skills such as leadership skills, communication skills, capacity to work in a group, etc. Through GD, what they observe is, do you have leadership skills? So, if you have that leadership skills, you can make your group involved in the discussion smoothly and come to a conclusion. And communication skills, and how efficiently you are communicating with others. And some people may be very good doing things alone, but they cannot do things in group. Even capacity to work in a group, this also will be observed, because in companies people have to work in groups. And it is an accepted fact that an organization can progress only when its employees work in harmony with each other. So, a GD is a small way of assessing the skills of the candidate, whether the person is suitable for the job or not. And it is one of the stages in the selection process of employees. So after this, again there will be job session, again there will be interview session, all this written test. Among these steps, GD is also one stage. So what are tested in GD? What are the characteristics that are tested in GD? The individual's ability of expression. How the individual can express his or her opinions confidently, clearly, like that. The individual's ability to work within a team, that is teamwork ability. And leadership qualities and the ability to initiate, whether the candidate can lead the group, can he initiate for any work his group members, all these will be observed. And how his or her communication skills are, how creative, how imaginative is the candidate. And what about the ability of convincing others? Sometimes others may disagree with us, then we should be in a position to convince them. At the same time, are we in a position to accept others' opinions? We should be in a position to accept others' opinions also when they are right. That is also needed. So in group discussion, all these characteristics are tested and observed. So we should practice this group discussion. Generally we practice in the class. Now one topic will be given and the whole class is divided into the groups of 5 or 6 members, and every group has to come and present their own views on the topic. This we do in the classroom. It is in the same way we have to do when it in the job selection also, when they conduct group discussions. And the next one is role play. Role play is an effective technique of teaching and learning speaking skills. In classroom, role play will be very interesting. It provides fun and enjoyment and lowers the inhibition. Therefore, it has the potential to improve the fluency and command over language. Generally, everybody will be interested to take the roles in the role play. It can also enhance the vocabulary as it exposes the role player to various situations where they are required to use different words. It helps them master different sentence types such as interrogative, declarative, imperative, and exclamatory sentences. So role play helps for in the enrichment of vocabulary as well as various type of sentences. You all know what is declarative sentence? A sentence that starts with a subject and ends with a full stop. And what is imperative sentence? A sentence which starts without a subject, generally with helping verbs, command or request, and ends with full stop. And what is interrogative sentence? It is a sentence which ends with question mark. And exclamatory sentence that ends with exclamatory mark. You all know these sentence types. So all these types of sentences one can master with the help of role plays, as they have to use all such kinds of sentences. Classroom activities involving role play can provide the learner with an environment that looks real. Such activities can be done in pair or groups. Generally they will be done pair or groups. We generally do in the classroom, generally 1 or 2 people, they come onto the stage and they take the roles, and afterwards in groups they have to play the roles. During role play, students assume identities and utter dialogues wherein they speak with and respond to other persons in a context. The students can be given any context or situation depending upon the level. They also can be given topics, and also time can be given for preparation. After the role play, the teacher must analyze and give proper feedback to the students about their language, tone, spontaneity and attitude. These inputs will help the students to improve the communication skills. All these things we generally do in the class. Topics such as going to the market, mock interview, talking about a film, visiting a doctor, giving instructions, shopping, and any situation can be taken, and the roles can be played by the students in the classroom. It's an interesting activity. Everybody comes forward for this. The next one is oral presentations. Oral presentation is one of the effective modes for conveying information or ideas to a group of people. So there are some language items that one can use during these oral presentations. They are opening remarks. What are opening remarks? Generally when we start our speech, what do we say? Good morning, depending upon the time. Good afternoon, good evening, or namaste. Hello everyone. Hi everybody. Or we can start, I would like to invite you all to the present day speech. Or we can also start with, it gives me immense pleasure to be associated with you today. And we can also say like this, I'm delighted to be here with you this morning or this afternoon or this evening. Like this, we have to start with the opening remarks. Generally in the class also we start, hello everybody. And today we are going to discuss this topic, like that. It will be started now. So these are the opening remarks. And what is the next one? Stating the purpose. What is the purpose of today's presentation, oral presentation? We have gathered here because we are going to discuss on particular topic. As we all know, oral presentations are very important, so we have gathered here to know about their importance, like that. I am going to present today the topic, any topic we can say, John. The chief purpose of my talk today is soft skills. Anything we can say like that, stating the purpose. Next, providing an outlet. My talk has been divided into, as we said in the lesson, the various topics we are going to deal with are brainstorming, JOM, group discussion, role play, oral presentation, and dialogue writing. We said no. In the same way, we can divide that the talk has been divided into, or I will first try to explain brainstorming, and after that I will explain oral presentation, like that. I'll cover three major areas which include the topics. We can say brainstorming, JOM, any topic, whatever we deal with. Just I am giving an example. And I will introduce you to the topic brainstorming. Like that we can provide an outline. And then after providing an outlet, what is the next one? Before introducing the topic. Before introducing the topic, my presentation will be 40 minutes in duration, after which you can ask questions. Or we can have a discussion at the end of my presentation. Please feel free to interrupt if you have a question. I will provide you the printed material, so you need not take any notes. Shall we start our session? Like this we can start before introducing the topic. Next, emphasizing important points. It's very important to understand that, so whatever is important, that what brainstorming is. I'm sure many of you here have an experience in dealing with JOM or role play or GD or brainstorming. I'm giving just an example. For any topic we can say like this. What does this mean for us? What does brainstorming mean for us? Like this. Like this we can emphasize the important points. The next one is interacting with the audience. While interacting with the audience, I'm sure you know about all this what we have discussed. How many of you know about, or I'm sure many of you here have an experience in dealing with, what does this mean for us? So we can say, I think all of you know about soft skills, what brainstorming is, what JOM, what GD is. Already everybody might be have some knowledge about it. Like that we can interact with the audience. And concluding the presentation. To conclude, till now what we have learned, all this we can say and conclude. Let's have a quick recap of the important points. Again from starting, recapitulation. What soft skills are, what are brainstorming, and what is JOM, what is GD, all this. And I would like to conclude my presentation here by saying that, like that we can conclude. And next, inviting queries. After oral presentation, we have to invite the queries. Questions. Now the house is open for questions. Please feel free to ask questions if any. I'll be pleased to attend your questions. So in this way, we can invite questions. And after that, finally, we have to thank. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your active involvement during the presentation. I would like to extend my token of gratitude to everyone present here. Thank you so much. Like this, we can conclude the oral presentation. And now the last one is dialogue writing. A dialogue is something that we engage in every day. The various forms in which we come across dialogues are skits, role plays, group discussions, television serials, interviews, etc. A dialogue is something that can be usefully exploited to hone one's communication skills. One can improve one's command and grammar, vocabulary, listening, speaking, writing, and also the social skills that form an important part of learning language by engaging oneself in dialogue either orally or in writing. Important points related to dialogues are: a dialogue normally has two or more exchanges. If an utterance in a dialogue is short, it is easier for the listener to comprehend it. Since a dialogue pertains to the spoken language, it can be used of even informal and colloquial language. No need of formal language. The speaker must apply current socio-linguistics norms while speaking. The vocabulary that speakers use must be simple. Even the grammatical constructions must be simple. As discussed above, language has many functions such as greeting, introducing, inviting, making requests or suggestions, asking for permission or advice, expressing sympathy or gratitude, apologizing, complaining, asking for clarification or information, describing people or objects or things, or congratulating. All these are various language activities. So, in this we can use dialogues. So now let us see some of the language functions. Introducing. How do we introduce? How do we introduce? We say, if you meet somebody, what do you say? Hello, I am Taruni. I am Kavya. Like that you will introduce. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you will be the answer. And great to meet you. Like that we can introduce. This can be done in pairs in the classroom. And apologizing. Let's see that there are two people. Hey, what a pleasant surprise. When did you come back? Your friend may ask you. You say, I came yesterday. How did you enjoy the trip? It was very good, thank you, but I must apologize for not being able to come to your housewarming party because of this trip. Oh, that's okay. Your trip was pre-planned. I'm happy you had a nice time. Like this, we have to apologize. Generally, we say, I'm sorry. Yes, we can say like that also. I'm very sorry. I must be apologetic to you for not attending or for not helping or anything. And even introducing and apologizing. Good morning. May I come in? Like this, we can ask. And then we can introduce ourselves. I am Kavya from Hyderabad. She is my sister, Sweetie. Like this, we can introduce. And after that, how we can apologize is if you have gone to any school and there are seats are over, then what do the headmaster or principal says? I'm extremely sorry. Admissions have already been closed, so there are no seats available. Like that, we have to apologize. And greetings and also taking leave. How do we greet? All of you know how do we greet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Like that, we can greet. Instead of all this, simply we can say namaste, hello. Informally we can say hi, hello, but formally it's better to say namaste or good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon the time. And if you want to take leave after talking some time, yes, you can say, I must go now. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye. Like that, you can take leave. And how do you ask permission? If you want to ask permission from your teacher, if you want to take leave from my class, what do you ask? You have to ask good morning or good afternoon or namaste, you say. Then, madam, may I leave the class early as I am suffering from fever, as I got an urgent phone call, something you can say. And if I say you may go, yes, you may go, then you can leave. So this is the way how to take permission. Or may I come in? Can I go out? All these are permissions. You can ask permissions in such a way also. So what we have learned till now? What soft skills are? What are soft skills? Soft skills are the skills that helps us in our personal life as well as professional life to lead a smooth and good life. So under soft skills as we already know, soft skills and communications, all skills are part of life skills. They help us to lead a meaningful and efficient life. And under the soft skills, what we have learned? Brainstorming, JOM, GD, role play, oral presentation, and dialogue writing. Under brainstorming, what we have learned? In brainstorming, there are various techniques like mind mapping, questioning, reverse brainstorming, and SWOT analysis. Under mind mapping, what do we do? When a word is given, like learn, a word is there. Or English, you take the word English. So you can think about various words related to it. Somebody says language, somebody says British, somebody says international language, anything, international, national, communication, all this, job opportunity. So many words we can connect with the one word, that is mind mapping. Next, questioning. Questioning can be done by the teacher. Yes, what is the use of learning English? What is the importance of English? Like that. Reverse brainstorming. Reverse brainstorming is, if you don't learn English, what happens? What's the result? Like that, we can question the cause, reason. And SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is, what is SWOT? SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We have to analyze ourselves. You have to write down in a paper. Today you write down, you do this work. What are strengths? Write down 10 strengths, 10 weaknesses. Don't say I don't have strengths or I don't have weaknesses. Every person has strengths and weaknesses, but they may not be so strong, but you'll have. Okay, whatever you yourself knows, others can't know fully about you. You yourself has to observe objectively, as if you are saying about another person. You should be observe in such an objective way. And opportunities. What are the opportunities with your qualifications, with your skills you have? What are the opportunities you have at present, and what are the threats you have? All these things you have to analyze. You have to prepare an analysis of your own. And the importance of JOM, just a minute activity. For this also practice is needed. GD, group discussion, and how the selection process will be there in the MNCs. And by the 4 types of selection is written exam, interview, GD, and JOM. And also we discussed importance of oral presentation and also dialogue writing, which enriches vocabulary, listening, speaking, writing, and also social skills. So today we have discussed all these things, and on this occasion I'd like to give an example. I think all of you have seen a mahout on an elephant. He rides on an elephant, controlling the elephant. If the mahout says to turn this side, it turns. We know, we have seen so many elephants and the mahout sitting on it. But sometimes, can we make a wild elephant like this? No, only a trained elephant can become useful to do things, can be under the control of mahout. So imagine that your body and mind like an elephant which has enormous power to do things. and your intellect as the Mahut. When you train this body and mind daily, then it will listen to the intellect and you can lead a successful life. So try to train your body and mind daily. Training is needed, not the knowledge. Training. If you say to elephant, you go that way, it won't listen. Daily it has to be trained. In the same way, you have to train your mind as well as body. On this occasion, I also remember the inspiring quote of Swami Vivekananda, that is, if you conquer yourself, you can conquer the whole world. The first thing is we have to train and control our own body and our own mind and our own emotions. Then we can conquer everything outside. So try to practice all these things and have a nice day. And thank you very much for listening to the lesson patiently. Thank you.